friends, welcome back. Here is our next case study number 8 from CA Final Paper 3, Audit, ICA, MCQ and Case-Based Scenarios booklet. Okay, let's go through the question. This case study, ABC Limited is a manufacturing company having 3 manufacturing facilities in India and ranked within top 500 listed companies on stock exchange in India. Company marked a turnover of 15,000 crores and profit before tax of 2,000 crores during financial year 1920. Company has not accepted any deposits from public since incorporation of company. Mr. A is the promoter and the chief executive officer of the company. Mr. B, son of Mr. A, who is non-executive director of the company and holds graduate degree from IIT Mumbai and postgraduate degree from IIM Ahmedabad. ABC Limited already constituted audit committee, nomination and remuneration committee, stakeholder relationship committee, risk management committee, etc. in order to comply with the Securities and Exchange Board of India listing obligation and disclosure requirement regulations, also known as LODR regulations. During oversight of financial reporting process, it is and its disclosure by Audit Committee, the committee noted that the company has disclosed contingent liability of 200 crore rupees on account of retrospective increase in wages of contract labor. Majority of members of Audit Committee were of the view that such retrospective increase in wages is certain and company is liable to pay the same in near future and therefore should be provided for rather than disclosing as a contingent liability. Accordingly, Audit Committee requested management to revisit current treatment of of one of the manufacturing unit was presented in audit committee meeting by management. Internal auditor highlighted that the current controls for vendor payment process are not adequate, that is, they are weak, and this poses a risk of fraud. Audit committee members decided to appoint expert consultant to investigate or review the internal financial controls for vendor payment process. Stakeholder Relationship Committee of ABC Limited was responsible for looking into various aspects of interest of the shareholders, debenture holders and other security holders. Stakeholder Relationship Committee authorized Mr. P, who is Company Secretary, to deal with the queries and concerns of the stakeholders. Stakeholders Relationship Committee has last met on June 2018 and has not met during financial year 1920 as there was no communication to Stakeholders Relationship Committee for any stakeholders' concerns. On the basis of the above facts, you are required to answer the following questions. We'll go through the first question. Question number 8.1. Select best course of action to ensure compliance with Section 177 of Companies Act 2013 in relation to establishing whistle mechanism where directors and employees can report genuine concerns. So it is asking whether whistle mechanism is applicable to this particular company, that is ABC Limited, or not, and if so, what was the reason. Okay. Before going through the options, I want you to come back to our study material. Just give me a second. Yes, here is our study material, Whistle Mechanism Regulations 2246 and Part C of Schedule 5. It says it is mandatory for the listed company shall establish a whistle mechanism for directors and employees to report genuine concerns. This mechanism should also provide for adequate safeguards against victimism of directors, employees or any other person who avail the mechanism, and also provide for direct access to the chairman of the audit committee in appropriate or exceptional cases. The details of establishment of such mechanism shall be disclosed by a company on its website and in the board report. Okay. So here it is saying a listed company shall establish a whistle mechanism. So here the question says ABC Limited is a listed company, right? We'll go through the first point. See, ABC Limited, it is a listed company because of which it is complying with the SEBI LODR regulations. So now you understood that ABC Limited is required to maintain a visual mechanism? So we'll go through the options. Option A says ABC Limited is a listed company, therefore ABC Limited is required to establish visual mechanism where directors and employees can report genuine concerns. So option A is the correct option, but still we'll go through the other options. Visual mechanism is applicable to government companies only. Is that so? No. And hence option B is wrong. Option C says as per section 177 of Companies Act, it is not mandatory to establish visual mechanism where directors and employees can report genuine concerns. Therefore, ABC Limited may or may not require establishing of visual mechanism where directors and employees can. Option C is also wrong. Option D says ABC Limited is listed company but have not accepted deposits from public from the date of incorporation. Therefore, ABC Limited is not required to establish visual mechanism where directors and employees can report genuine concerns. Does the we have gone through our study material, right? In the regulation 22, anywhere whether accepting or lending of deposits has been discussed? No, it just said a limited company shall maintain a revisal mechanism, and therefore option D is also wrong. Okay, so the final answer is option A. We'll continue with our next question, question number 8.2. As on 1st of April 2020, Board of Directors would like to appoint Mr. B as chairperson of the ABC Limited. You are requested to provide assistance to ABC Limited to determine compliance with Securities and Exchange Board of India listing obligations and disclosure requirement regulations. So it is asking whether Mr. B can be appointed as a chairman of a company. Let's quickly go through who is Mr. B. Mr. B, where it is? Yes. Mr. B is son of Mr. A. Who is Mr. A? Mr. A is a promoter and CEO of the company. And also, Mr. B is a non-executive director and holding degrees from so-and-so universities. Okay? This is what about Mr. B. And Mr. B is the son of Mr. A, who is a promoter and CEO of the company. So, whether Mr. B can be appointed as an chairperson of the company? Yes or no? For that, we'll go through the next screenshot which I have taken from study material, right? 1 minute. See. This is a study material screenshot from chapter 7, right? The the auditor shall ensure that the chairperson of the board of the top 500 listed entities is a non-executive director, not related to the managing director or the CEO as per the definition of the term relative defined under Companies Act 2013. So he should be a non-executive director. Yes, here in the question Mr. B is non-executive, and the second condition is not related to MD or CEO of the company. Here Mr. B is son of Mr. A, who is the CEO of the company, and therefore Mr. B cannot be appointed as a chairperson of the board. Okay, now we'll go through our options. Yes. Option A says Mr. B is eligible to be appointed as chairperson of the company as he holds relevant degrees along with relevant experience. Is that so? No. Because Mr. B is suffering from disqualification as he is the son of Mr. A, who is CEO of a company. Okay. And then option B says Mr. B is eligible to be appointed as chairperson as he is a non-executive director. Yes, from the point of view of non-executive director, Mr. B can be appointed. But the second condition is not satisfied by Mr. B because he is the son of CEO of a company. So option B is also wrong. We'll go through option C. Mr. B is not eligible to be appointed as chairperson of the company as he is non-executive director of the company. Is the reason correct? The first part of the question is answer is correct. He is not eligible to be appointed. But what is the reason for being not eligible? Because he is the son of Mr. A, who is CEO of a company. The reason specified in option C is of CEO of the company. Yes, this is the correct reason for which Mr. B is not eligible to be appointed as chairperson of the company. Therefore, the correct option is option D. We'll go through the next question, question number 8.3. ABC Limited Company had not conducted any meeting of stakeholder relationship committee during financial year 1920, and there was no disclosure provided in the annual report. The company wants to know frequency of conducting meeting of stakeholder relationship committee, whether it is in compliance with as per LODR regulations. So now we'll go through the stakeholder relationship committee, whatever given in our study material, and we'll come back to the answer. Okay. See, this is from 7.28 of our study material. Here it says, the fifth point says, the stakeholder relationship committee shall meet at least once in a year. So whether there is any grievance or whether there is any queries from the stakeholders, it has to mandatorily conduct at least one meeting. So it can conduct more than one also, but mandatory is one meeting. Therefore, we'll go back to our question. Now we'll go through the options. Option A says, as per regulation 20 of LODR regulations, stakeholder relationship committee shall meet at least once in a year. Therefore, there was non-compliance as per LODR regulations. Yes, this seems to be correct. But is there anything else which was given in our next options also? We'll go through and we'll finalize this option. As of now, option A is correct. Option B says, as per regulation 20 of LODR regulations, stakeholder therefore option B is wrong. We'll go through option C. As stakeholder relationship committee has authorized Mr. P, who is company secretary, to deal with any queries and concerns of the stakeholders. Further, there was no stakeholders' concerns during 1920. Therefore, there is no non-compliance of LODR regulations. Is that so? Whether there are any concerns or not, you need to conduct mandatorily one meeting in a year. Therefore, option C is also wrong. We'll go through the next option. Option D says, it is voluntary for companies to conduct meeting of stakeholder relationship committee. Therefore, there was no non-compliance as per LODR regulations. Is that so? No. The company has to mandatorily conduct at least one meeting in a year. Therefore, our final answer is option A. With this, we have completed our 8th case study. But there is one question which was raised by one of you regarding one of the question, risk management committee meetings, right? I think it is in case study number 5. Let me just go through. Give me a second. Yes, here is our question case study number 5, wherein it was said that in the, see here, for the PNGC Limited has constituted its qualified audit committee and risk management committee as per the relevant regulations. Since financial year 1920 was the first year after incorporation of the company, the meetings of both the committees was held twice during the year based on the company's requirement, where all the company's important matters were duly discussed. So here it is saying audit committee has met twice and risk MCQ question is, question number 5.2 says, is the company justified in holding meeting of audit committee and the risk management committee twice in the financial year 1920? The correct answer which I have given to you is this option C, right? The company is not justified in holding 2 meetings of audit committee, as audit committee should meet at least 4 times in a year. However, the company can hold 2 meetings of risk management committee. Against this answer, I have received a query that risk management committee shall meet at least once in a year. But here the option C says company can hold 2 meetings of risk management committee. See, the provision here is risk management committee. See, option point number D says the risk management committee shall meet at least once in a year. So it is mandatory to conduct 1 meeting. If it is more than 1 also, it is fine, but you should mandatorily conduct 1 meeting. Whereas with regard to the audit committee, at least 4 meetings has to be done. Okay, because of which option C is the correct option. But we'll go through option D also once. Sorry, option B. No, the company is not justified in holding 2 meetings of both the committees, as the audit committee should meet at least 4 times in a year. Yes, still here the option is correct. And management committee, risk management committee can meet once in a year. Yes, even this is correct. But the question says the risk management committee has met 2 times a year. Committee has already conducted 2 meetings. Therefore, we are answering accordingly. So, option C is the correct option. Hope I have answered your query. With this, we have completed 8 case studies. That's all for today. If you find these videos helpful, please do like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.